Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is the election of President Obama, gangs, and ex-offenders. And we have with us to talk about the impact of the election of President Obama on gangs and ex-offenders is Reverend KWalker with Mr. RBritton as well as Mr. LGreenlee and Lonnie, you will.
Yes.
And of course, we're glad to have all three of you here with us to talk about what we consider to be a very, very important topic. Let's start. Of course, Reverend Walker, you've been with us on many, many occasions, as well as Lonnie, as well as Rodney now. So let's start off by having each of you to give us a little sketch in terms of your background, education, that kind of thing, and then we'll get into the impact of President Obama's election upon gangs and ex-offenders.
Okay. Well, I'm Pastor Kelvin L. Walker. I was born right here in Nashville, Tennessee. I pastor the Abundant Life Christian Center North. We're located in the Millennium Maxwell House Hotel out in North Nashville. Born and raised right here in Nashville, Tennessee. I feel like I was born to a couple of good parents and stuff like that that kind of taught me the right things to do and the right way to go. I spent a little time trying to get an education at Tennessee State University after having been kicked out of the public schools, and made a little trip through the Navy and stuff like that. But I ended up on drugs and alcohol, got caught up into that. Spent 17 years of my life in active drug addiction, and then, of course, spent almost 5 years of my life incarcerated in the Tennessee State prison system. But that's basically, you know, who I am and what I'm about today. And I'm here on your show just to share with you some information and talk about some things that I think that are important in terms of the election and how it relates to our president and incarceration and those ex-offenders coming back out of the system into society.
Very good. And then Rodney?
Yes, sir. I am 21 years old. I'm the youngest of you three, new generation. I was born and raised here in Nashville, raised up in a single-parent home. I graduated from Whites Creek High School, class of 2006. Come from a background of supporting family, supporting mother, and basically what my role is today, I've been preaching for about a year now, and also as the youth coordinator for Galaxy Star Peacemakers. So that's what my background is thus far.
That's got you here.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
Very good, Mr. Greenlee.
Hey, man. My name is LGreenlee4, and I moved into projects in 1969. Yeah, so, you know, we're going back a long way, you know, dealing with these streets. And, you know, I like what Kevin said, you know, man, listen, we had all of these things going up, and then we get caught up. But, you know, when you get caught up in the mess, well, there's a message behind it. Okay, and that's where we are as today. And it's a good topic. You're talking about what President Obama have to do with people that's been arrested like me over 60 times. You know, and now I haven't been arrested in the last 15 years. You know, ain't that great? You know, so I was raised up in Nashville too also. And we basically, we come through the same roads, you know, unless we went to Harvard or Vanderbilt or, you know, and so happy he went to the Army and I stayed on the streets, but I got 16 years on that streets, you know, in the madness. So that's it.
Very good. And of course, one of the most important things, since this is about the election of President Obama, I think that it can be universally recognized that election has had an impact upon a lot of folks, and we're more concerned today as we approach this first commercial break with the impact that it has had on gangs and ex-offenders. And since you deal quite a bit with individuals who have been incarcerated, and we've talked to you on a number of occasions in reference to that, what seems to be the word in reference to that election as far as you can gather from your conversations?
Well, I think people are trying to kind of holding out some hope that some things will happen since President Obama has been elected into the presidency of the United States of America. I believe because he is community-minded, and he's really for building up a strong infrastructure within here, within the country. And I think that, you know, they got this Second Chance Act. It actually started in 2005, but it actually signed into law last year by ex-President Bush, former President Bush. And now this year they're trying to appropriate some funding through that Second Chance Act to be able to fund situations whereas people are working with ex-offenders, people coming back out of the prison system back into society. And Obama, our president, is very much actively involved in that.
Okay, and of course, we're getting ready for this first commercial break, and I think that's exactly the kind of information that we are looking for. And when we come back after this first commercial break, we'll pick up with you, Mr. Britton, and have you to talk about your impressions in terms of his election. And after that, you'll continue on, and we'll continue that second segment. And we'll be back with our audience following this first commercial break. The top